Hello there. Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 8 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here again to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Specifically, how to use my life from the top of the mind philosophy to bring more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do. Today I want to talk about the concept of trust and being trusted. I think it's something we all want, whether we're parents or leaders or friends or relationship partners. We want people to trust us when we say what we say. And there's been a lot of work around trust lately. There's a person by the name of Frances Free, who is a dean of one of the Harvard business schools. She did some work around trust, and she looked at trust as a 3-legged stool, kind of has to have 3 things. The first thing is logic. If you're not making sense, people won't trust you. Now, the good news is I think most of us make sense when we talk to people, but if we don't, there it goes out the window. The second thing is empathy, meaning that people have to really get that we understand where they're coming from. We don't have to agree with them, but they have to get that we understand it. A lot of work on that as well. And the third is authenticity. And that's the one I want to talk about because I think it's the one that's probably a little bit most ambiguous. We certainly know what making sense means and being empathetic, a lot of work around that. But authenticity, what does that mean? Well, of course, it means being authentic, being real, but what does that look like? What's that all about? So I've been reading a book called Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. It's really a wonderful book about how to have conversations with people where you're not pulling punches, but you're also not just punching them. You're not speaking to them in a way where they react negatively. Matter of fact, the whole idea is to create solution-focused conversations. And she talks about the concept of authenticity and trust. And she says, you'll never be fully trusted until everything you think and feel and do and say is an accurate and authentic representation of who you really are and who you wish to become. I've kind of paraphrased that a little bit, but the idea is that we've got to know who we really are and who we wish to become, and we've got to be able to bring that to conversations in order to be perceived as authentic and therefore in order to be trusted. So how do we do that? Well, first I think we've got to get a really clear sense of who are we at our best. Because we don't want to bring every aspect of who we are to a conversation. Sometimes we're angry or stressed or frustrated or resentful. I mean, we're human beings. That we don't want to bring to a conversation because that will keep us from being trusted absolutely. We want to get really clear who we are at our best. What I encourage people to do is create a list of 20 qualities or characteristics of them at their best. And these aren't skills, these are qualities or characteristics. Now, often when I say that, people go, 20? I might be able to do 5, but 20? I'm wanting to kind of push an envelope here to kind of overwhelm this middle brain, the limbic system, to making sure we kind of get really clear about our own value, not based on just what we do, but who we are. That bringing the best of us to a conversation or a relationship, whether it's parents or leaders or relationship partners or whatever. So once you've got your 20 qualities or characteristics, that represents the best of who you are. Then what you want to do is say, okay, then what does that look like? What does that feel like? Who am I when I'm being that way? What's my tone of voice like when I'm being this way? What's my body language like when I'm being this way? Choose 2 or 3 of them and ask the question, have I ever been that way before in life? Well, of course, because it does represent the best of who we are. So what does that look like? We've got to have a clear sense of what that looks like, and we've got to be able to imagine bringing that to whatever conversation we want to have with whatever person. So now we've got clarity about who we really are, clarity about what it looks like and feels like, and then clarity about what it might look like if we were bringing those qualities and characteristics to the conversation. That then puts us in the best position to engage people in a way where, number 1, we're making sense. Number 2, they really get that we do want to understand their perspective. We do want to understand where they're coming from. And that third perspective, that we're being authentic. You know, a lot of times when I'm doing seminars, I'm talking to people about how to be influential with others. And so we'll get into a role play situation where I'm having them play the role of the difficult person and I'm kind of showing them what the philosophy looks like. And I'll do my thing, and hey, I'm a psychologist, so I use words that a psychologist would use. I'm being authentic, I just being me. And at the end of that, they go, yeah, I could never do that and be authentic. And I go, oh, okay, no problem. You don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. Use your own words. What I'm wanting you to get is, did you feel like what I was making sense? Did you feel that I really wanted to understand your perspective? And did you feel I was being authentic? Now, I get it that you wouldn't be authentic if you use those words, but that's not the point. This isn't about how you should be. This is about showing you what it looks like and feels like when someone is engaging you, and their logic is clear, and their empathy is clear, and they're truly being authentic. So if being trusted is important in your life, if you want your kids or your relationship partner or your employer or your employee to really trust you when you talk, think about what it would be like if you were bringing these three things to life. You were making sure you made sense. You really worked to make sure you understood their perspective and that they got that you understood their perspective. And then you brought the best of who you are to the process. Now, there's one thing I also encourage people to do, and that is speak to a solution-focused future versus a problem-focused past. For those of you who follow my Life from the Top of the Mind philosophy, we got these three parts of the brain. We got the lower brain stem. That's where our frustration, stress, anger, resentment reside. We've got the upper 80% of the brain that I call the top of the mind. And we've got this middle brain, which is the limbic system. So this middle brain, which is called the emotional brain, is kind of searching the environment for signs of danger, and anything it perceives as dangerous, it throws us, or negative, frankly, it throws us into that lower brain, and we get in that stress, frustrated. So this is us coming from the top of the mind, clear, so that we bring our confidence and our creativity to everything we do. Clear about who we are, clear about what that looks like, and clear about what it would look like if we're bringing it to this concept. Being truly authentic in who we are. And that doesn't mean we have to be great at it. Authentic could be, hey, I'm just learning this stuff. I may not do it as well as I'd like. So if there's something I'm doing that's kind of getting in the way of our solving the problem, hey, let me know, and I can certainly change that. That's that openness to hearing what's working and what's not that allows us then to influence people in a way where they feel the influence is for the best of all concerned. When we're talking about a future situation, rather than arguing about the past, we engage the part of the brain that thinks about the future, which are these frontal lobes of the neocortex, the top of the mind, and that's why this future-focused conversation is so important. Hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm having a great time bringing them to you. I try to post one every week. If you like the video, please hit the like button. You know how everybody loves it when you like it. Share it with your friends if you feel valuable. Follow me on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or iTunes or Pinterest, any of that kind of stuff, Twitter, because I post this video each time on one of those social medias. And, hey, if you want me to come and talk to your organization or you about how to be trusted, how to engage people in a way where they truly hear and understand and trust what you're saying, this is what I do. Just go to my website, BillCrawfordPh.com, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. Love to talk with you about that. In the meantime, here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.